phela isizwe simnyama iwasafa
isizwe saba
kavula moya
alitshaleni kokhelize
wemaye wemodo wasafasa phela isizwe simnyama iwasafa
isizwe saba
kavula moya
alitshaleni kokhelize
wemaye ngiyakhala wasafasa phela isizwe simnyama iwasafa
isizwe saba
alamula
alitshaleni kokhelize
wemaye wemodo
This is Brother Fela Ransom Kuti. This is one time I would like to say a few things. Men are born, kings are made, treaties are signed, wars are fought. Every country has its own problems. So has Nigeria, so has Africa. Let us bind our wounds and live together in peace. Nigeria, one nation, indivisible. Long live Nigeria, viva Africa. The history of mankind is full of obvious turning points and significant events. Though tongue and tribe may differ, we are all Nigerians. We are all Africans. War is not the answer. It has never been the answer. And it will never be the answer, fight amongst each other. Let's live together in peace. Nigeria, one nation, indivisible. Long live Nigeria. Viva Africa.
Hello, good morning. Beyond the fact that Nigeria has overtaken India as the hunger capital of the world, what perhaps is news today is Nigeria's frightening poverty statistics. A current survey carried out by the National Bureau of Statistics, the NBS, in November 2022 showed no fewer than 133 million Nigerians, representing 63% of the population, are currently living in abject poverty. In 1977, Olusegun Obasanjo introduced the first poverty alleviation program tagged Operation Feed the Nation to ensure self-sufficiency in food production and inspire a new generation to return to farming, and invariably cushioned the effect of poverty in Nigeria, but ended abruptly when Shehu Shagari took over from him as the president of Nigeria in 1979. In 1980, instead, Shagari introduced the Green Revolution with emphasis to increase food production. This program also suffered a setback when Major General Muhammadu Buhari became the president in 1983. Buhari believed poverty could be tackled through indiscipline, so he began the war against indiscipline in March 1984. So also was his successors, General Badamosi Babangida and Sani Abacha, had their different poverty alleviation programs. And today, Buhari is the president of Nigeria with different social safety nets and poverty alleviation programs, with little or no result to show for it. The statistics of hunger ravaged Nigerians instead have continued to grow and its millions without end in sight. Meanwhile, several billions of naira have been spent on these social investment schemes. The question is, where is the war against indiscipline? Welcome. The program is The Podium on 32 FM 94.9. My name is Bolabo, famous call. Remember, you can join us on our various social platforms on Facebook, 32 FM 949 Ibadan, and on YouTube, 32 FM 94 Ibadan, 949 Ibadan. Again, 32 FM 949 Ibadan, and on YouTube, 32 FM 949 Ibadan, both on Facebook and YouTube. Let's take a breather now. We'll be right back. All right, you're welcome back, and you're onto the podium, and it's coming to you from 32 FM 94.9. And this morning on the podium, we'll be looking at Obi Dati's chances at the 2023 polls. And our guest this morning is Dr. Kenneth OKONKWO. He's a spokesperson, Obi Dati Presidential Campaign Council. It's great to have you join us here, Doctor. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you to the listeners that have joined us.
All right, great one here, Doctor. Let me start off this way. We also have one of our panelists too in the studios. Before I actually go ahead, we have Barrister Ogunlola joining us also on the platform this morning. Barrister, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Nigeria. And Dr. Kenneth OKONKWO. It's nice having you on the podium, and wonderful to be here too.
All right, let me start. Okay, let me start off this way, Doctor. There've been a lot of.
I'm not seeing any people on the screen.
Okay. All right. Let me start off this way, Dr. Kenneth OKONKWO. Now, there have been a lot of controversies as to the endorsement of Peter Obi. And of course, as it stands, it's your superior. Now, many had said that an Obasanjo, who is a former president of this country, doesn't have the moral grounds, that is morally bankrupt, to come ahead to endorse an Obi. And the likes of Tinubu would say that it amounts to nothing. But from your perspective, from all of these that is coming from other contenders as to this endorsement, what do we make out of it?
Well, first of all, isn't it hypocritical for somebody that has been running to this same Obasanjo to secure the endorsement, to turn back to begin to use such sentences? Well, I want to congratulate Bola Tinubu for being coherent in saying that he doesn't need Obasanjo's endorsement. I was actually, thinking that he was going to mispronounce Obasanjo's name. Maybe Baba Ja 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 Ja. However, let us talk about this thing the way it is. You went to Obasanjo. You pleaded with him to endorse you. He did not endorse you. and you turn back to say it's worthless. Let us listen to what President Buhari talked about Obasanjo's endorsement. He said Obasanjo's endorsement brings votes, brings confidence, brings support to candidates. Because Obasanjo is an influential elder statesman who must be consulted before any serious decision is taken in Nigeria. This is incumbent president. This is an APC president who said this about Obasanjo's endorsement. Then would you want to listen to men who have never sat on that seat, who has never won any election as concerned that seat? Well, I want to remind you that Tinubu has never contested for the post of the presidency before. This is his first time. So give it to him that he does not know what it takes to be on that seat. He does not know what endorsement can do in the life of anybody. Obasanjo has been on that seat for 11 years, cumulatively. The first as military head of state, if you want, say a dictator. The second as a civilian president, if you want, say a Democrat. So he has seen it all. So he knows what it takes for anybody to sit there. And that is why he articulated his reasons, which is more important than the endorsement, for anybody to be in that post. He called it TVCP, track record of ability and performance. You must check the past record of these people, whether they have been into drug, whether they have been carrying bullion van. What have they been doing in their past?
Right,
track record.
Doctor, before we actually take you up on this, we have some bills to pay. Yeah. But I will want you to also think about the fact that in 2011, 2015, yes, and of course 2007, Obasanjo succeeded. But in 2019, that never happened with an Atiku. Now, I don't know what guarantee you have that this would actually win you victory at the polls itself. But before you actually answer that, we have to pay some bills. We'll be right back.
32 FM 94.9.
ọpẹ́ mi kò ì tó ojoojúmọ́ ni ó máa dúpẹ́.
èwo ló dé tẹ̀ ń jó tẹ̀ ń dúpẹ́ báyìí kí lẹ̀ ń dúpẹ́ lé lórí o.
ṣebí àwọn ọmọ yín ni gbogbo ìdánwò wọn tí wọ́n ṣe lásìkò yìí ni wọ́n ṣe dáadáa.
ṣé lóòótọ́.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ní kété tí wọ́n ti ròyìn Apex tutorial classes fún mi tí mo dẹ̀ ti kó wọn lọ ni wọ́n ti ń ṣe dáadáa.
láti jẹ́ kàn mọ̀ tí inú ṣàṣeyọrí bí àwọn ọmọ tèmi nínú ìdánwò UTME post UTME WAEC NECO lọ́dún 2023 Apex tutorial classes ní kẹ́ ẹ̀ kó wọn lọ. ètò ẹ̀kọ́ àárọ̀ wà bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn tí wọ́n bá ráyè lè wá jókòó gbọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ tiwọn lọ́sàn-án. ìforúkọsílẹ̀ tún ti ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Apex tutorial classes. ẹ kàn sí wa ní adjacent welfare hospital Old Ife Road Ìbàdàn àti ní ẹ̀gbẹ́ mobile filling station UI Ọjọ́ Road Ìbàdàn His Grace Plaza opposite Èrúwà Mutapa Ẹlẹ́yẹlé Ìbàdàn àti ní Mazak petrol station oríta apẹ̀rẹ̀ Ìbàdàn 0817-202-7411 0805-085-4922 Apex tutorial classes ọ̀gá ni wá láàrin àwọn tí ń fún àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní ìgbáradì fún ìdánwò wọn.
ìyá Làbákẹ́ bó o tiẹ̀ lẹ̀rẹ̀ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n fi ránṣẹ́ sí ọ látòkè òkun tó nílò àtúnṣe ráńpẹ́ ǹjọ́ ti ṣe.
àfi sùúrù oríborí ìyé lọ́rọ̀ àwọn tó fóònù ṣe ọ̀hún ṣe ni wọ́n tún bá mi bá yé rẹ̀ jẹ́ mo tẹ rojú tó ẹ o jẹ́.
mẹbí mo wí fún ọ pé kó o lọ sí Refos pẹ́ni tó mojú ògùn láàjì ó pàbí nírè níbi tí wọ́n ti bá ọ sọ ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ rẹ dọ̀tun àwọn aláìmọ̀kan ló lọ gbé fún.
ẹ wo ọ̀nà àbáyọ ni ẹ bá ń wá ọjà ẹ.
o ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ ni Refos ló ń wá ojútùú sí àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tó mẹ́rì bíi phones unlocked screen problem tàbí èyíkéyìí wàhálà tó bá ń súyọ lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ rẹ. any katakata wey dey happen to your phones na dem go suffer mo whether phones repair or any issue on your telewire make you take am go Refos o. kàn sí wọn ní number 35C Nipos shopping complex ládojúkọ Cocoa house tó wà níbàdàn gẹ́lẹ́kọ̀ tó wẹnu géètì ló ti kàn wọ́n kúgú mbẹ̀ gbàrà tó bá tún wọlé tán ló ti kàn wọ́n lápò ọ̀tún rẹ̀ bó bá wá rú ọ lójú pé wọ́n sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 0706-436-8169 tàbí 0809-695-7878 Refos àwọn lọ̀gá.
My people perish for lack of knowledge. Reuben George Theological Seminary, Ibadan, an affiliate of Ajayi Crowther University, Oyo, and Christ for the Nations Institute, Dallas, USA, offers comprehensive training in the Word of God. The seminary offers certificate in theology, diploma in theology and religious studies, Bachelor of Arts in theology and religious studies, executive postgraduate diploma in pastoral studies, Masters of Arts in Christian leadership and pastoral studies, Master of Divinity. Are you a pastor, evangelist, elder,
deacon, or deaconess,
teacher, or someone who seeks to know more about God? Reuben George Theological Seminary is the place to be. Contact the registrar at Gospel Town, Arulogun Road, Ojo, Ibadan, or visit www.rigets.com.ng. Admission is in progress. Contact 0805 304 0344. 0805 304 0344. Reuben George Theological Seminary, Center for Sound Theological Education. Announcer, Registrar.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9. When the people became silent,
the government became oppressive. It's time to lend your voice to politics.
On 32 FM 94.9.
Welcome back. You're still onto the podium on 32 FM 94.9, and our guest has been Dr. Kenneth OKONKWO, the spokesperson of Obidati Presidential Campaign Council. All right, Doctor, we have you back online.
Oh, yes. You were talking about Obasanjo's endorsement. Yeah, please, let me come in here. Obasanjo endorsed Yaradua 2007 and he won. He endorsed Goodluck Jonathan 2011 and he won. He endorsed Buhari 2015 and he won. He endorsed Atiku Abubakar 2019 and he lost. This is 75% successful endorsement. That is an alpha. That is an alpha, first class. And you know why he lost? He lost in 2019 because Obasanjo, as a matter of fact, Obasanjo was very lucky that he lost in that 2019 because he endorsed a man who he had told God to punish him if he ever helps him to win, knowing who he is. So God helped Obasanjo to make sure Atiku Abubakar did not win, so that he will not punish Obasanjo. Obasanjo should actually go for Thanksgiving. How can a man that Obasanjo knows so closely, and Obasanjo wrote in his book, they said the written is written, and said that there are certain facts about this man that I didn't know before, but have come out glaringly now. And they are parental background, which are shadowy, propensity to corruption, tendency to disloyalty, inability to say and stick to the truth at all times, poor judgment, propensity for poor judgment, belief and reliance on marabouts, Jesus, lack of transparency. And he said this man trusts in money to buy his way out on all issues. And he talked about Atiku's readiness to sacrifice morality, integrity, propriety, truth, national interest for self and selfish interest. And Obasanjo called on God to punish him. If knowing all these things, you should ever support Atiku Abubakar.
All right, before I allow before I allow Barrister Gulola come in, let me take you up on this, Doctor. All right, let's look at this. Before you go ahead, Barrister Gulola, I just wanted to point this out because you said something on Tinubu, and of course, you have a little bit of reservations about the All Progressives Congress. Now, you were also in the APC, and you wanted to become the governor of Enugu State as at that time. What must have happened that you jumped ship? What is the thing that you saw?
Too many things. I entered APC like about when they were 2 years old. One, I was in PDP and I concluded PDP had no interest of Nigeria at heart. It was very clear. They failed as a ruling party and they failed as an opposition party. You could see that internal wrangling continued in PDP from the day they lost the presidency. Even before then, every chairman of PDP has been disgraced out of office. Now, what makes opposition party to be allowed or recognized by the people that they can take over power is when they have integrity and when they have cohesion. PDP never had it. So even as an opposition party, they kept quarreling. And I said, look, Nigeria will not be in good hands if they come under a disunited party. And I left. There are many other things that happened, but let me just summarize it. And then there were only two political parties then, PDP and APC. So if you wanted to be a politician, and I'm talking about major political parties, you will either be PDP or APC. Now, APC had beautiful manifesto, beautiful constitution. Go and look through it. Talked about true federalism, talked about restructuring, talked about all the things that were so wonderful. Talked about making 1 naira to be $1. Talked about not paying oil subsidy. Talked about removing poverty from Nigeria. As a matter of fact, they said 100 million people to be taken away from poverty. I don't need to go on and on, but you and I know that they failed in all these things. Let me tell you, the last major function I did for APC was in 2018.
So why did you leave? Why did you leave the party?
That's what I'm saying. I just enumerated to you all the things they promised. Now, I campaigned and helped them to win election 2019 based on all those promises, which actually they were heading towards. Which actually, go and check. I entered APC 2016, December 30th. Now, immediately they entered in for the second term, they went haywire. Everything they have ever done, they borrowed. Not one creativity, not one. Nothing is yielding revenue in Nigeria. The oil subsidy, they say it was a fraud, skyrocketed to 6-point-something trillion.
Were you asked to pay any money as at the time you wanted to become Enugu State Governor? Were there conditions placed on you? Because now, from what I even read, they said Muslim ticket. But I'm wondering, what is the connectivity here? But was there any condition placed on you as at then under the APC that made you say, enough is enough? Let me go and test the water somewhere else.
Yes, you didn't allow me to finish. After 2019, and they became, they like 100% away from all their promises. All. Not one remaining. As a matter of fact, I stopped being an active member of APC. Go and check it. After 2019, there's not in no one major thing that I participated in. But I have been the leader of APC in my local government and in my state, one of the leaders. As you know, I gave them the secretariat they had in my ward and in my local government, and was sponsoring it single-handed. I was the one giving money to APC. And when they were doing their registration, I still gave them something. I don't want to call the figure. When it came to the issue of governorship, APC has no foothold in Southeast. We were powering it. When they brought such obnoxious amount in a state that is an opposition state, I said, no, this cannot go. One, it is corruption. A party has to be corrupt to put this level of nomination fee that the entire salary of somebody in 4 years would not be able to pay. I said, no, if you must want me, because I am still going to use all my money to push APC there because APC was not on ground, you have to pay it yourself or I'm not interested. And you know what happened? I did not contest, and eventually nobody contested election for the governorship in Enugu State. Go and check it. Nobody in 2019. So I want you to understand how much APC lost for being a corrupt party and for not even knowing what to do. So that was about the election. So after the election 2019, APC continued going down until it is pushing Nigeria to the precipice. So there is nothing about APC that is pleasing. So nobody gave me conditions. I give conditions because they were not doing anything for me. I was the one doing things for them. And it's on record. Now, what is the foothold of APC in Southeast? Even Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu told Babachir Lawal, he never stepped his leg in Southeast when he was doing his primary. He said because it will be a waste of time and money. Because he knows that he has nothing in the Southeast. APC has nothing, no foothold, no support. Even the little they have has been taken away from them. So when you have such a party that has lost the confidence of the people, both in their performance, both in their competence, in everything.
All right, Doctor. I would want.
You don't have the interest of Nigeria.
I would want Barrister Ogunlola to come in here, but just to let our listeners know that you can drop your comments and your questions for Dr. Kenneth Okonkwo on either our Facebook platform, which is 32FM 949 Ibadan. 32FM 949 Ibadan on Facebook, and you can actually link us up on also YouTube, 32FM 949. Let's also have your questions and some of your comments. All right, Barrister, you may have some questions for him.
Yes, thank you. I would have expected, that we tackle an issue, exhaust it before we go on to another one.
Okay.
Because right now I would have to take Dr. Okonkwo back to the issue of endorsements. But first, let me crack the little joke that you, like many Nigerians, is also a political prostitute with the narrative that you have given us, moving from PDP to APC and now to Labour Party, where that is intended as a joke.
No, go ahead.
All right. Now, you see, I was very happy when you mentioned the hypocrisy of the APC, particularly with respect to the endorsement of Obi rather than Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who were the very first to approach Obasanjo for endorsement. And not only that, they were the ones who actually introduced endorsements into the political narrative. Now, I have been very, very averse to the issue of endorsements, especially seeking endorsements from monarchs, Obas, Obis, emirs, and all that, because I think these people occupy a very prominent position as fathers of the nation, who ordinarily should not be partisan and should be father to all. But we saw with the APC seeking endorsements from monarchs, and some of those monarchs actually falling prey and endorsing candidates. Secondly, the likes of Obasanjo, Abdul Salam, Babangida, who have ruled this country before, are regarded as statesmen who also ought to be neutral, and play the role of statesmen as fathers of the nation. But it is so sad that you also find, like the monarchs, the statesmen jumping into the foray. So I want to ask you, endorsing candidates by statesmen, by monarchs, should it be an ideal for our nascent democracy? Especially given the fact that we are asking for free, fair, and credible elections. Should endorsing candidates by statesmen and monarchs be a part of our political process?
Well, since you started your question with a joke, let me also complement it with a joke. Tinubu started his political career from AD to APP when they had alliance, and he went to AC, from AC to ACN, from ACN to APC. So I don't know who is prostituting more. Then Atiku Abubakar started his political career from PDP. From there, he went to AC.
Well, that's why I said majority of Nigerians.
From PDP to APC, from APC to PDP. I think his own is uncountable. So, you see, thank God you're laughing. And I have not sought for anybody's, I'm not seeking for election. I'm just seeking for the soul of Nigeria. A new Nigeria. My loyalty to Nigeria far supersedes my loyalty to any political party, and you can put me on record on that. Any political party that has lost relevance in providing the dividends of democracy has lost. Every citizen has a duty to jettison that political party. And I can tell you that Mitt Romney refused to support Trump. Mitt Romney is of the Republican Party and refused to support the presidential candidate of his own party, and rather supported another presidential candidate. John McCain, the same thing. Colin Powell, even Reagan at a certain point. So great statesmen, for the sake of their country, always at one time in history, reject candidates for the collective good. Having said that you're a statesman does not deny you your citizenship. Everybody has his own personal idiosyncrasy. Our temperaments are different. I mean, that you're a pope, you were first of all a person before you became a pope. You were first of all a citizen before you became a president or a statesperson. Do you think somebody would have to morph into another being just because he has attained another status? What you should be looking at is the sincerity of purpose, the integrity of the heart. There is nothing wrong in statesmen endorsing candidates. Nothing. I mean, it's their duty to show the light so that people will find their way. What most of the things you learned today, you learned first and foremost from your father and your mother. They are your first statesmen. If they had refused to teach you the way you will go, would you find your foot in this complex world? Our statesmen ought to be helping us, showing the light. So there's nothing wrong. And I'm serious about it. However, the law precludes the traditional institution and traditional rulers from participating in politics. And that includes endorsing, because the law sees them as father of nation, father of the people. And rightly too, because when you have traditional institutions, you would have many of your children in different political parties. Also, religious leaders should also not openly come out. Of course, when we talk about endorsement, what is endorsement? The act of showing or saying that you agree with or you support something or someone. We all know that whether you're a traditional ruler or you're a religious leader, there is somebody you have in your heart. You have a preference because you're a human being, like I said. But I would advise that religious leaders, traditional leaders, do not come out openly to endorse. Why? Because in each religious organization, in each traditional institution, there are people that are in different political parties. And when each institution starts getting weak as a result of disunity, it has a way of affecting the unity of the nation. So whatever they have to do They have to do it respectfully, humbly, and privately. Now, elder statesmen that we are known to be partisan. Boston was a president under a political party. So the other statesmen, they had their own parties and preferences of candidate openly. Why wouldn't they endorse? Except they voluntarily and personally say they should not. Should they allow the nation to burn? No. The hottest place in hell is always kept for those who keep silent in times of moral crisis. As the saying goes, if the good people keep quiet, the evil people will triumph. So endorsement is very important, very necessary. But let them at all times do it that will generate peace, progress, based on equity, based on justice, based on fairness.
All right, Doctor, let me take you back to a 2018 interview done by a national TV in Nigeria here. And that interview was well reported by a number of dailies in Nigeria. And there it was said, Peter Obi said he invested $20 million in international bureaus on behalf of Anambra State as a governor. Obi claims was in response to questions on economic development in Anambra politics and his presidential ambition. He said Anambra State is the single highest shareholder in that facility. I invested in it over $20 million. He was quoted as saying he now said that particular investment is now worth $100 million today. Now, that question in a way was also asked by another presenter in another national TV, where Soludo, who is the present governor of Anambra State, in a way said there was nothing like that. Now, how do we reconcile this? Would this be a major factor in this election for your candidate?
Oh, my goodness me. You know, Soludo came 8 years after Obi was governor. 8 years. He did not talk about the investment of his immediate past. He was talking about the investment of a governor that came 8 years before. You should be saying, what did the governor that took over from Obi say about Obi's investment? Governor Darius Ishako came to thank him, Obiano, that he's building an international airport. Because Governor Darius was like, I'm a state governor. I can't even find money to do this. You know what the governor said? He told Darius Ishako that it is the investment Obi made for me before I came in that I used to build that international airport. So please, spare me of a man who is talking good about his own investment. That's Soludo. And is talking ill about another's investment. That is sheer gossip. Go and read his letter. And you will understand that it is just gossip. So I'm here to reply to very serious issues.
All right, let's quickly go to the Facebook page and let's pick some comments there. I have this coming from Omotayo Oluwarutsimi on Nobamiro. He said, good morning. I think endorsing Obi or the endorsement of Obi is not the problem. I think the major problem is why the Igbo always go or vote for Igbo candidates. That should be addressed first, because underlining any suspicions of the endorsement of Obi lies the fear of the Igbo would always vote for the Igbo. And Olubiyi Oluwadare Oluwole is also saying, if endorsement in 2015 and 2019 isn't a crime, then why is it a crime today? And if endorsement doesn't matter, why the hullabaloo? May we not see APC again? How do you react to some of these comments, Doctor?
Well, first of all, I thank them for, tuning in and asking questions. Well, for the first one that asked question, I would respectfully say that his opinion does not reflect the correct opinion on ground. Now, you know what? Ndi Igbo especially the Southeast, has been the people, the only tribe that has been voting other tribes from 1991 to date. Now, I start because facts are sacred. In 1999, they voted for Olusegun Obasanjo 100%. In 2003, they voted for Olusegun Obasanjo 100%. In 2007, they voted for Umaru Yar'Adua, not a Muslim, 100%. In 2011, they voted for Goodluck Jonathan, South, Ijo, 100%. In 2015, they voted for Goodluck Jonathan again, 100%. South, Ijo. In 2019, they voted for Atiku Abubakar, maybe 60-something percent or 70%. Not a Muslim, not East. 2019. So they have not even voted for any Igbo man, because no Igbo man had become presidential candidate in any major political party. So his question, his submission is actually completely not the right position. 100%. Good. So the second question is, can you help me with the second question again?
He was talking about the 2015. Let's see, he said 2015, and of course 2011 there was also a similar endorsement. So he's saying that if you look at today, that doesn't really matter. Why the Baloo? And he's saying we may not see APC again. He's saying he doesn't want to see the APC, looking at this endorsement that had happened in the past.
Like I said, anybody who is doing the same thing over and over again and is expecting a different result, scientists have defined that as the technical definition of madness. That is why anybody who is voting APC and is expecting a different result may begin to think whether the incoherence in APC and the presidential candidate is affecting the person. Because it is obvious that it has become a systemic thing in APC. Meaning, if you're a president, for instance, and you want to stop subsidy, there are some people there that are benefiting from that corruption. They will sabotage you the way they are doing to the incumbent. So anybody who is voting APC now, and APC comes in with their evil performance, is no longer a victim, is an accomplice.
Why don't you speak on what the Labour Party will do? Because it's more or less like the APC in this conversation, Doctor. And I also want to take you back. I want to take you back a little bit, Doctor. Back to this investment thing. It's still shrouded.
I would so much love you to change the narrative.
Yeah, because it looks like it's a battle between.
You cannot turn me the complainant to be the accused.
Well, Doctor, can I just push up this question? This is really actually shrouded in secrecy, or will I say a lot of facts not clear. In terms of Obi's investment, we are not doubting his capability as somebody who has played a huge role in the economic sector of not just for himself, but the entire Nigeria. We are not doubting that. But this particular investment has a lot more. Now, I was actually looking at the cable, and it's one of the reliable sources for news. And now it's taking some of the statistics from the CBN in terms of this investment. And now it's also publishing that what Peter Obi has said, that the investment he had while he was there as governor ran into about $100 million. Now, what the index is saying from what we obtained from the CBN and what the cable is publishing is $5.38 million. Now, there is a division here. And now we've been talking about the issue of trust. And we want a sharp deviation from what we've experienced in the last close to 7 going to 8 years, or looking at even the administration of governance in Nigeria since 1999. A lot of questions have been raised. Now, if Peter Obi is going to come up to say he has done all of this, and now we've said that, he might be the third force, how do we reconcile this very critical aspect of his campaign? Because these are things he said in time past, and of course, people have actually gone back to it.
Yes, please. I would rather want to proceed to what he would want to do
Okay.
Because I don't know whether...
Yes, thank you very much.
We have to pay some
I don't know
bills.
whether you build international airports with that amount.
All right, doctor, let's just take this bill.
Proceed
let's just
with what he wants to do.
Yes, sir.
Because that's what you just said.
Okay.
So we cannot go back again and you come back to start telling me that I've not actually said, because the first statement you made.
Yes, you said APC all the time. So I'm wondering, is this about the APC? All right, so doctor, please, let's pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Let's proceed to what he is going to do for Nigerians.
All right, let's just take these bills. We'll be back. Yes. We'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
32 FM 94.9.
ọ̀rẹ́ so ti dọ́fíìsì wọn ṣé mo ṣe wí lórí àwọn èròjà sólà tí mo sọ fún ọ so rí wọn níbẹ̀ lọ́pọ̀ sọ́jà àwọn òwọ́n jù so ti rojúlówó Novest Solar product tó jẹ́ ojúlówó ní Novest Solar shop so ń gbádùn product wọn.
gbogbo béèrè tó béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi pátá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo bá.
generator lóríṣiríṣi tó ń lo sólà tí náà fi lè ṣẹ́jú ní tòjò tẹ̀rùn solar water ball iṣẹ́ tiẹ̀ ní kó fami nínú kànga láì lóná ọba solar street light tí ó fààyè gbòkùnkùn bírímù solar fans lóríṣiríṣi tó ń bá ooru bẹ́ẹ̀ fan wọ̀yá àjà ní Novest Solar shops yìí pitimuni solar panel fún títà lórí inverters batteries tó jẹ́ ojú mi dá solar kit solar generator tó ń lo iná lágbára ní gbogbo ìgbà láì sanwó oṣooṣù.
wo ọ̀rẹ́ ìròyìn ọ̀tá fojúbà nǹkan kan mo wá lọ ṣùgbọ́n ọjà mẹ́fà mo kó jáde ńbẹ̀.
fún ìwọ tó o ti mọ̀ ó pé ọkọ ra solar product ní Novest Solar shop kàn sí Novest Solar shop ní Ìbàdàn office Akíndélé plaza opposite Alámọ̀sẹ̀gbà stadium Èkó tẹ̀dó Ìbàdàn telephone
0811-799-8800.
ó pé ọ kó o rajà ní Novest Solar shop.
omi tuntun kìrù ẹja tuntun wà ní odò.
Yorùbá dùn ètò kan yóò bí ìtànsán òrùn gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátá nílé lóko lẹ́yìn odi lẹ́ẹ̀máa jẹ gbádùn rẹ̀ níkànnì adẹ́rìnpòṣónú 32 FM 94.9 níbi tólúbí pé alóyin létè yóò ti máa fọ̀pọ̀ ohun dídùn ká àwọn ìwé ìtàròsọ lítírésọ̀ pẹ̀lú èdè Yorùbá tó múnádóko olúbí pé ó yá fún wa ní díẹ̀ nínú àwọn tó wà lákàárí ń pa ọ́ ń para mi àwa méjèèjì yóò jọ wá máa lọ rò ó lájùlé ọ̀run ó lè mọ̀ pé ilẹ̀ dídà kò dá láàrin èèyàn méjì. gbogbo ọjọ́ ajé Monday láago 8 sí 9 àṣálẹ́ ó náà lẹ́ẹ̀máa gbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀máa jẹ gbádùn ètò Yorùbá dùn pẹ̀lú àkójọpọ̀ àwọn lítírésọ̀ èdè Yorùbá fún ìpolówó ọjà pẹ̀lú àlàyé ẹ lè máa bọ̀ tààrà sí ẹ̀ka ìtajà nílé iṣẹ́ wa ìkànnì 32 FM 94.9 tá a kalẹ̀ sí àjà kẹrin ní Cocoa House Ìbàdàn tàbí kí ẹ pè sórí ẹ̀lò 0806-218-5194 Yorùbá dùn àjọgbọ́ ni.
Miss Polly has a baby who was sick. She phoned to the doctor to be quick. The doctor came running with a Rexall drop and he knocked on the door with a rat-a-tat-tat.
Rexall paracetamol drop is good for the treatment of feverish conditions in babies. Rexall paracetamol drop has a fruity taste and it is mild on the child's digestive system.
Then the baby was happy and started to play.
Rexall paracetamol, also available as tablets and suppositories for adults and syrup for children. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor. Rexall paracetamol, another quality product from Daily Need Industries.
bójú bá ń ṣe pin àmọ́ ń yọ hàn ni ojúkòrò wọn ní kì í pojúkòrò jẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ̀rọ̀ kì í sì tóbi jù ká fọ̀bẹ bù ẹnu là á fi sọ ìdí là á fi jókòó àmọ́ ṣá o tọ́rọ̀ bá kọlẹ̀ tó kòkè àwọn àgbà ní ó tún níbi tá à ń gbé e kà tó bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá rójú yálà àhesọ tó ń jà rìnrìn ni tàbí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ àbáàdì ó lè jẹ́ òṣèlú ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ẹ̀ka amúlùúdùn eré ìdárayá kódà ó lè jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn gbogbo tó bá wù ó jẹ́ tó bá ṣàti jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹnu là á fi sọ lórí ètò gbàgede ọ̀rọ̀ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun Tuesday ní dédé aago 11 òwúrọ̀ lórí ètò gbàgede ọ̀rọ̀ lèmi àtẹ̀yìn a ti máa gba oríṣiríṣi àlejò ńlá jàǹkànjàǹkàn tí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ nígboro bá kàn ẹnu oníkàn ṣáà ni wọ́n ní àti ń gbọ́ pọ̀n ń gbàgede ọ̀rọ̀ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun láago 11 pẹ̀lú àfùdá Samuel àjọmọ́ àṣẹ ni.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still the Podium and it's 32 FM 94.9. And you can also join us live on Facebook right about now. That is 32 FM 949 Ibadan. We're live on Facebook and also on YouTube. You can actually drop your questions and your contributions. We still have Dr. Kenneth OKONKWO with us in the studios. And of course, he's a spokesperson for the Obi Dati campaign, Presidential Campaign Council. And of course, Doctor, before we went on that break, you were talking about what you would do for looking at what Peter Obi would do, especially the campaign manifesto here. And of course, they are in 7 points. Now, do we attack it from the economy? Let me go to Barrister Ogunlola. Do we look at the economy first, or what area precisely do we start from here?
Well, I think before we go into that, we should first find a credible foundation. You cannot put something on nothing and expect same to stand. Thank God Dr. Okonkwo is also a lawyer now. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. That's USC versus McCoy.
Oh, God bless you. You want to teach me law with that now?
No, you say thanks for my life. So I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, doctor. Now, there is this question I have been dying to ask you. And it concerns...
You ask me the question and you won't die.
Oh my God.
Yes, and it concerns the chances of Obi Dati in the coming elections. There is no doubt about it that the the emergence of Obi has been like a revolution sweeping through the land, particularly with the followership of majorly the youths in the country. But I have been reading quite a number of analysis, while some are looking at his chances, particularly in the north. Quite a number of people give the northeast to Atiku. The northwest, a lot of people are saying, well, that probably would be shared by Kwakwanso and Tinubu. And then the North Central is seen as a level playing field for all the three candidates. In the Southwest, a lot of people think Labour Party will be a spoiler for the chances of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that's the Southwest. And that the major stronghold of Obi would likely be the Southeast, and that the South-South would also be shared with Atiku. Now, considering these analyses and knowing the voting pattern of Nigerians in the past, do you think an Obi Dati would have a chance, particularly in the north, where the most of the votes are expected to come? But let's answer that before we go into what he is going to be doing if he comes in.
Well, my time is limited, and I'm going to rush this question because I'm here to tell Nigerians what my principal can do. But you see, with that your analysis, you've already given Obi the winner. You just announced him the winner. First of all, I did not agree with you that the Northeast goes to Atiku, because that's where Shetima is from. So Northeast is going to be split between Atiku, between Shetima, and Obi. Adamawa. Obi is having even upper hand than Atiku. Is he not from Adamawa that people like Babachiru Lawal is from? Is he not from Adamawa that most of our staunch members are from? Now, you talk about Gombe. Babachiru Lawal will tell you that the whole southern Gombe, they are obedient. Bauchi, you have seen how they are using the picture of my principal illegally and fraudulently to attach to Atiku in a rise to deceive them. Same thing with Boronu. You're in for a shocker, my brother. In the Northwest, the whole major four political parties, 3 + 1, will share Northwest. Haven't you heard? that the obedience have almost 40% of Kaduna votes. And the youths across the nation, Muslim, Christian, North, South, they are all obedient. Can quote me on that. Then the Northwest is going to be split between Labour Party, APC, PDP, and NNPP. So if you talk about, say, you have three major states, Rivers, assuming Lagos and Kano, will be still the one that has Rivers secured, more than 50% of Lagos, and in Kano to be divided into 4, with not even the major parties of APC or PDP having the lead.
All right, Doctor, we have to also take people online on the phone who may have questions for you because of your time.
Obi has North Central, Southeast is in his kitty.
All right,
and
Doctor,
Southwest.
Let's just have people on the phone lines also talk to you, sir.
Just endorsement. Obi is already cruising to 60%.
All right, the numbers are 0704. Our listeners out there, 070550949. The doctor is still available for questions, and 0809700949 for you to call into the studios this morning to ask your questions. Make it very simple and straightforward. You tell us your name, your location, so that we can actually have some of your questions this morning. The numbers again are 070550949 or 080970949. Hello, good morning, please.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's the name and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Maneli.
All right, please go ahead.
Your analyst, Dr. The legal man,
Barrister Gomola.
Actually, I missed it this morning. I'm not for any of the political parties, but I can tell you that his analysis concerning Northeast about Peter Obi is nil. North Central, apart from Benin State, nil. And River State, in as much Wike is alive and is breathing, forget it. And my final position is that Obi cannot even come second. Today is the 7th of January 2023. Take note. Good morning.
All right. That's his comment. How do you react to that, Doctor, very quickly so that we can actually get some other people?
Well, that's a question. And I'm sorry I'm not taking another question if you've not allowed me to say what my principal will say.
All right, let's just take this. Let's just take this. Then we'll go to that, Doctor, because the people are also listening. We must give them a platform to.
I am not taking any other question.
Okay.
This is 10 a.m. I've been here for more than 1 hour.
All right, Doctor, go ahead. Tell us what some of the things. He talked about the consumption policy, and of course, he talked about how much more he will make Nigeria more productive. How does he intend to do that?
Well, I thought you would just finish the rest for me. Then I'll tell you that I will not take questions, so it will be easier for me.
All right, Doctor, please go ahead.
The most important thing here is that we must acknowledge that Nigeria is in dire strait, and we are at not just 0 point, negative point in everything. So when we talk about shifting emphasis from consumption to production, we are talking about the fact that Nigeria has 923,000 square kilometers in land mass.
All right, Doctor, please, sorry to interrupt you. We have a contributor here too. Hello, good morning, please.
Hello.
Good morning, please go ahead.
Good morning. This is Rotimi calling from Ilé-Ifẹ̀.
All right, please go ahead, Rotimi.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
You know, one of my biggest problems in this country is with the English-speaking Nigerians. We speak big grammars on our radios, national TV, write long essays on our national journals, and all these things have landed us in national view. My dear sister, it is not possible for somebody to study calculus before studying arithmetic. It is not possible. Let Dr. Obi tell the whole Nigerians what their party has for us. Leave APC alone. Nigerians know what is happening. Leave APC.
And that's what the doctor is doing.
Arrows of words and the other party.
All right,
what your party has.
All right, Rotimi, you're listening to him. He's already doing that. Please go ahead, Dr. Kenneth.
Now you see, the Rotimi is even siding me. You see? So I have his vote, at least on this program. Now, what I was saying is that Nigeria has a landmass of 923,000 square kilometers. And all of them, arguably, they are all arable land where you can cultivate something without even fertilizer. And you know the funny thing? Only 2.5% of this land is being cultivated for agriculture. That is why my principle is coming in. We're shifting emphasis from consumption to production through agrarian revolution. We had this agrarian revolution immediately after independence. And our forebears, Awolowo, Zik, Amadu Bello, they were catering for all their needs just with cocoa, palm oil, and granules. And you can imagine how science has improved agriculture. My principle is going to invest in agriculture like no other before. It's going to take the youths. Look at the youths. I traveled to London. I came back. People cannot even go out. Why? Inclement weather. Snow. The temperature below 0, -6. I was in the hotel. Nigeria has summer all year round. We have the land. We have the men. We have the brain. The only thing we don't have is leadership.
All right, Doctor, because of our time.
Dr. Okonkwo, I would like to take you up on that one. The morning.
I've not even landed.
Yes, I want to ask you so that you can take it together. Since you are on agriculture now, I want to ask you this question on agriculture.
Please
Hello?
go ahead, Dr. Barrister.
Hello?
Yes, he can hear you. Hello, are you there? Okay.
All right. Yeah. So, since you are on agriculture, I would like to ask you a question. Concerning your principle. As we say, there is this saying that goes that morning determines the day. Peter Obi is very well known in Nigeria as an importer of consumables, and he has been in that business for quite a long time. I haven't heard that he has put into practice this agrarian idea of his. Well, it would have been a different case if he could point to a farm, or any agricultural holdings that he has and that he has been running for quite some time. Why all of a sudden? He is one of the people who have been depleting our foreign exchange reserves through the importation of consumables majorly. So why the shift, from being an importer of consumables to this is agrarian policy, it appears a very big contradiction. So I want you to marry it to, this program of his.
When you keep listening to people who are saying, what is not correct, you begin to, be misled. You just said he invested in an international brewery that is producing products in Nigeria when he was governor. Because we're talking about what somebody would do when he comes in as an administrator, not his personal life or what his own business is. Let me tell you, it was P2B that discovered Innoson Motors and was the first to start buying the motors and start investing in Innoson Motors as a governor. Innoson Motors now is an international name. Every other person is following. Anambra is the greatest place now for automobile when you come about industrialization. I could go on and on. P2B did not jump up to start trading, importing. No, he started trading from the goods within Nigeria. P2B started trading at the age of 9 because he lost his father when he was in primary school. He would buy kerosene. Then Nigeria, funny enough, was refining our products. And he will buy the big bottle and he will share it in little bottles. When he went to secondary school, he went to Delta State to a woman that was manufacturing poultry, as in chicken, as in eggs. He will go and buy from there. And he will start selling to the fast food people in Onitsha. He did not jump up to become an importer. He made the money first in Nigeria through businesses, through trading. And let me tell you about trading. I read business administration. There cannot be production without distribution. Most of our goods, why farmers are not producing today and exporting, because there are no traders. They would rather trade in foreign exchange, where you sit down in your house. Somebody will give you $1, and you would pay 400 and something, pretending it's official price, and you go and trade it and sell it in 900 and something naira, $1. Who's going to go into real business? Please, credit
All right, Doctor, let's go straight to restructuring. All right, Doctor, let's go.
Trading, there won't be production.
Okay, we understand that, but let's go into restructuring. He said he's going to.
About agrarian revolution. If you do all these things, producing all this agri, and you do not make efficient trading that will be locating the consumers from the producers, all those things you produce will...
All right, Doctor, I would also want you to answer questions around restructuring, because it has been key. Nigerians have been asking for this a long time. And Obi is looking at it that he's going to reform institutions and ensure, as a matter of fact...
I think the doctor is still communicating with us.
Okay, Doctor, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, let me, before you go on the restructuring, he said he's going to reform institutions.
My dear, sorry,
okay, okay.
We agreed I was going to end by 10.
Yes, sir. We will get to that. We'll round up now. But I want us to take this.
After 10.
We will round up now.
So,
let me just take this.
I'm going to give you...
Okay.
It should be 5 more minutes.
Okay. Today...
Doctor, you know, are you not a Nigerian?
Nigerian time. All right.
Negotiate for 10 minutes. For 5 minutes.
All right, Doctor. Let me quickly take this Abiodun Stephen. Then we'll go to the issue of restructuring. Yes. Abiodun Stephen on Facebook says today Obi can't point to any of his achievements in Anambra State for 4 years, and someone wants to sell such. That's what.
Is it what?
He said today Obi can't point to any of his achievements in Anambra State for 4 years, and someone wants to sell such failure to us in Nigeria. Obi rally in River was like a naming ceremony, and Kenneth said Obi will win River. I did laugh. That's his comment. And Omotayo Oluwarotimi Onabamiro also says, Dr. Okonkwo, if the Labour Party can address the major point I raised, the fact that as a Labour Party, can they win without structure? I think he's talking about structure. Now, can we marry this with the restructuring mandate of Peter Obi? Because he said he will restructure, looking at reforms of institutions and, of course, the legal aspect of our country itself. How do we answer all of this together? Very quickly, Doctor, because of your time.
All right. Now, first of all, I was in Rivers myself personally. They don't even understand the strategy we take. In any state we visit, we have about 5 different places that we organize people. We had a town hall meeting with the students in Rivers State, which is making more meaning even than the rally, because it starts intellectual discourse. Then we go and meet the traditional rulers. Then we go in Rivers State. We had 5 different places we attended before the one in the rally, which was completely fun, well attended. I was there. The P Square, they were there. So, but that's by the way. The person that said Obi did not achieve anything in 4 years, sorry, Obi stayed there for 8 years. Now, let me tell him, before Obi came in, Atiku Abubakar said why he did not support Chinwo Kemba Dinuju, the governor of PDP, for the second term, was that students were at home for 2 years, not studying. When Obi came in, he transformed the whole educational institution, and Anambra State started coming first in WAEC. Go and check. By the statistics of Dr. Magnus Paco, the DG of NAPEP, 2010, when Obi was 4 years into his regime. This was a PDP appointee. He said the poverty rate in Anambra State is the lowest in Nigeria, and I can be fact-checked on that. MDG goals by World Bank, it's so big, it's number 1. Unemployment rate, least in Anambra State. Obi constructed more than 800 kilometers of roads.
So what about restructuring? How does Obi intend to do that?
I want to be fact-checked on this. In terms of security, in Anambra State, they were kidnapping sitting governors. Ngige was kidnapped. Person that handed over to Obi. The chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, with the wife, they were killed on the street before Obi came in. When Obi came in, he secured Anambra State so much that the IG of police then, Mohammed Abubakar, said Anambra State is the most secured state in Nigeria. Obi did it through the vigilantes. He bought hillocks. It doesn't motto for all communities and their vigilantes. And Anambra became the most secure. So, in terms of security, in terms of unity, do you know what it means for a man to entrench a party that has only one state? In a state that the state became so sentimentally.
I think I am even. I think I am. I think I am going to add to the list you have enumerated. For in the interest of equity and justice, because I know that the DMO also rated Obi high as the least state that yes, in terms of the debt portfolios. So I think so at least I know that much. Yes.
Because I don't tell a lie.
Okay, but doctor, just before you go, because we have taken quite a number of your time, restructuring is one issue most of the political parties are running away from. Probably because they feel that the owners of Nigeria will not accede to it. Obi appears to be the only presidential candidate that is fronting the issue of restructuring. How do you think that will affect his chances in the election, particularly in the north?
You know why I'm following Obi? Because he said he would rather do the right thing and fail than doing the wrong thing and winning. Nigeria must look for a leader that is brave enough to do the right thing no matter the consequences. Let me tell you, when I am going to war, failing or succeeding is not what is in my mind. What is in my mind is, am I doing the right thing? Victory belongs to God. Eventually, all powers are ordained by God, but history will remain on who was on the right path. History can be mad at times, but history must be made all the time. Obi has already made a difference in the Nigerian political hemisphere by remaining on what is right.
All right, Doctor, because of your time, we just have to let you go. Can we have your parting shot? Okay.
Wait. He's not even allowing me to land.
Okay.
Please go ahead, Doctor.
We talked about restructuring. Will be acknowledged that before you talk about restructuring, there must be an effective legal and institutional reforms. Because some of this restructuring needs legal reforms. But for you to know how hypocritical this APC government is, even when they wanted to restructure the oil industry, they made a law, PIA. And even in that law made by them, they provided that oil subsidy was going to end by law 18 months before the end of this regime. When they passed it, just for the sake of winning election, they went again to amend the law to shift the payment of the oil subsidy till after this regime. You can imagine that level of hypocrisy. And Nigeria is now paying 6 trillion naira to oil subsidy? Who told you that they are using it for the benefit of Nigeria?
All right, Doctor, you are even engaging us further. I thought you said your time was fast spent. We must take your parting shot at this time, Doctor.
Structure this country in honesty. That is why we say in character, in competence, and in capacity.
Doctor, we will bring you back. We must take your parting shot. What is the thing we're leaving with this morning? What is the message here?
The message is clear. Nigerians must know that we are approaching the precipice. We are facing existential threat. I am in this following Obi and Labour Party for the sake of Nigeria. We don't even get paid. So nobody will even say, whoever is following Obi will tell you it has nothing to do with being bought. It is Nigeria. So I'm asking, I'm pleading with Nigerians to rise up with one voice and save Nigeria. The debt, the total debt we have now in Nigeria to be passed to the next regime is 77 trillion naira.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Kenneth OKONKWO.
All right, the message is sound and clear. It is
Thank you very much. I think we have taken quite a lot of your time. We want to thank you for being there to answer the questions by Nigerians. I am very sure the anchor of the program will post further questions that may come in, from the listener, so that you can at least have a look at them for your future engagements. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Barrister Gulola. Okay. All right. We must say a big thank you to our guest, Dr. Kenneth OKONKWO, for being here. He's a spokesperson of Obi Dati Presidential Campaign Council. And we've been talking about Obi Dati's chances at the 2023 polls. Thank you so much, Doctor, for being here. All right. We'll go on this break and we'll be right back.
32 FM 94.9.
Miss Polly has a baby who was sick, sick, sick. She phoned to the doctor to be quick, quick, quick. The doctor came running with a Rexall drop, and he knocked on the door with a rat-a-tat-tat.
Rexall paracetamol drop is good for the treatment of feverish conditions in babies. Rexall paracetamol drop has a fruity taste and it is mild on the child's digestive system.
Then the baby was happy and started to play.
Rexall paracetamol, also available as tablets and suppositories for adults and syrup for children. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor. Rexall paracetamol, another quality product from Daily Need Industries.
Hi. Yours very sincerely, Dean of the Old School here. Join me on Saturday evenings from 9 up until 10 o'clock on Classics, evergreen musical razzmatazz, bringing back goosebumps and magic moments of year gone by. You can look forward to Parade of Jazz, Classic Soul, Disco, Funk, Reggae, High Life, and a whole lot more. Classics from 3 decades ensures keeping oldies and music legends in your memory. The password game gives you an opportunity to win something good simply for tuning in. Music Celebrity Birthday rounds off the program on weekly basis. Join Sanjay on Classics Saturday evenings from 9 up until 10 o'clock. Right here, 32 FM 94.9 radio station. Together, let's reminisce.
wákàtí mẹ́rìnlélógún ní bẹ nínú ọjọ́ kan ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀kan nínú àwọn wákàtí wọ̀nyí ló lóyún ẹ̀rí fún ọ ó sì di dandan kó bí i. agogo tí ń ka wákàtí ọjọ́ ti ṣetán láti ka wákàtí rẹ̀ sí ire àti ẹ̀rí. bẹ́ẹ̀ni wákàtí ẹ̀rí rẹ̀ dé lẹ́tọ̀ àdúrà orí afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń gbóná girigiri pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀rí gbáǹkọ́gbì àti iṣẹ́ ìyanu lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀. èyí tí ọlọ́run alààyè oníṣẹ́ ìyanu fi kọmọre Táíwò Àlàdé ta kókó ẹ̀. ṣé àṣeyọ̀wò lọ́ba mi òkè tí pín ire ayọ̀ ẹ̀rí ohun ẹ̀rín fúnirúurú èèyàn lọ́nà tó wù ú tí kò sẹ́ni tí ó yẹ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ wò. látòrí afẹ́fẹ́ lẹ̀rí ti ń sọ̀kalẹ̀ tóníkàlùkù sì ń retí ẹ̀ ṣe. ó yá jẹ́ ká darapọ̀ mọ́ kọmọre Táíwò Àlàdé Apostle Tekobo fún ìdáhùn àdúrà lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ lórí afẹ́fẹ́ ìyẹn lórí ìkànnì ìkànnì 32 FM 94.9 ní gbogbo ìdájọ́ ọjọ́ Sunday láago 6 sí aago 7 òwúrọ̀ níbi tí wákàtí ẹ̀rí rẹ yóò ti máa farahàn tẹ̀rí tọ́lá tògo ti gbé dìde táráyé yóò sì máa kí ọ kú oríire wákàtí ẹ̀rí rẹ dé ìwọ gangan lẹ̀rí kan. Àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀rí ni wọ́n ṣonígbọ̀wọ́ ẹ̀.
bójú bá ń ṣe pin àmọ́ ń yọ hàn ni ojúkòrò wọn ní kì í pojúkòrò jẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ̀rọ̀ kì í sì tóbi jù ká fọ̀bẹ bù ẹnu làá fi sọ ìdí làá fi jókòó àmọ́ ṣá o tọ́rọ̀ bá kọlẹ̀ tó kòkè àwọn àgbà ní ó tún níbi tá à ń gbé e kà tó bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá rójú yálà àhesọ tó ń jà rìnrìn ni tàbí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ àbáàdì ó lè jẹ́ òṣèlú ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ẹ̀ka amúlùúdùn eré ìdárayá kódà ó lè jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn gbogbo tó bá wù ó jẹ́ tó bá ṣàti jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹnu làá fi sọ lórí ètò gbàgede ọ̀rọ̀ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun Tuesday ní dédé aago 11 òwúrọ̀ lórí ètò gbàgede ọ̀rọ̀ lèmi àtẹ̀yìn a ti máa gba oríṣiríṣi àlejò ńlá jàǹkànjàǹkàn tí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ nígboro bá kàn ẹnu oníkàn ṣáà ni wọ́n ní àti ń gbọ́ pọ̀n ń gbàgede ọ̀rọ̀ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun láago 11 pẹ̀lú àfùdá Samuel àjọmọ́ àṣẹ ni.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. You still on to 32 FM 94.9, and the program is The Podium. My name is Bolabo Famous Call, and of course, we've been looking at the politics of today. And if you look at certain developments in Nigeria, it's been heated climb. It's a heated climate for the elections, and many political parties are coming up with all sort of drama. And of course, the PDP is actually not isolated from some of this dramatic turn. And if you look at the G5 governors, for instance, there've been a lot of issues about them and the presidential candidate, talking about Atiku Abubakar. And now this morning, we're looking at the internal wrangling going on within the PDP. The PDP, it's actually not the only party, but obviously from what we're seeing from the dissenting 5 governors, it raises a lot of dust. And now joining us on the program to look at this internal PDP and its internal wrangling, we have Diron Odeyemi. He is a former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. He's joining us via Zoom this morning. It's great to have you back here, sir. Good morning.
Much and compliment of the season.
Same.
I'm happy to be with you this morning.
All right, sir. We also have Barrister Yomi Ogunlola on the panel this morning.
Yes, so nice to have you, the PDP candidate. It's a wonderful Saturday morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's go straight into it. And of course, there have been a lot of issues around the PDP, and you are a major stakeholder, even if you're not holding a key position as it stands, looking at the ESCO. But now, I just want you to clear some areas. Is the PDP fragmented in Oyo State? Because now, if you look at the Olajumoke, for instance, it appears that she's supporting the presidency of Atiku. And the governor is among the aggrieved G5 governors. Now, would you say that there is division within the PDP in Oyo State? And if that is the case, where do we find you? Where are you pitching your tent here?
Thank you very much. In politics, especially when you are not part of us, the more you look, the less you say. Yes, Oluyijumoke Akinjide openly came out to support Atiku. But at the same time, you saw her at the rally organized for the second term of Governor Seyi Makinde. Yes, Governor Seyi Makinde may be part of the 5 governors. But if you look at all the people working with Governor Seyi Makinde, they are the one canvassing for votes for Atiku. What this tells us is that there is still a game in the offing which nobody can predict. As we are, even Wike that spoke, was it yesterday or day before yesterday? He said it categorically that the presidential candidate you will vote for, Sheyi will tell you. But Sheyi has not said anything. And one thing we are enjoying in PDP is the fact that despite all this, none of the governors have declared for any political party. Neither have they said this is the candidate they are going to support. You wait until then. Let's see what's going to happen. I still believe there is a game in the offing. And in politics, 24 hours is a long time. Anything can still happen. We may resolve the whole thing under a few hours. Who says that you cannot decide to resign if failure stares us in the face? And who tells you that Wike cannot, lower his temper if he sees that PDP may lose this election at the end of the day? So anything can still happen. 24 hours is a long time in politics. We keep talking on a daily basis.
Okay, now, Diron, I want to ask you a question that has been bothering me. And the question is this. Do you think the G5 would have emerged had Wike been chosen as Atiku's vice president?
Of course, if Wike had been chosen as the vice president, we won't be in this crisis.
So, in other words, good. In other words, your Seyi Makinde is simply fighting the cause of Wike and not the cause of Nigerians.
I don't believe that.
Why? Excuse me. Wait a minute.
Yes.
You have just answered that question now. That
exactly.
Had Wike been appointed the vice president, there would have been no need for G5.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So this is Wike's war.
No. It's not Wike's war. That's what I want to explain. Wike comes from the south. There wouldn't have been any crisis or any agitation that south is not represented.
Okowa is from the south.
Okowa is from the south. I agree with you. But Okowa does not belong to Wike's camp. Okowa did not contest the presidential election with Atiku.
Seyi Makinde is fighting Wike's war.
I want to believe that he has his own reason, and that reason, which he is holding tight to, is the fact that the South is not represented in the present arrangement.
Okowa is a southerner.
Well, he doesn't belong to Okowa's camp.
All right.
He doesn't belong to Okowa's camp.
Sorry, Mr. Jiro. Let me just tell our listeners that they can also watch us live on Facebook, 32 FM, 949 Ibadan on Facebook, and of course on YouTube the same. And you can drop your comments and let us also have your comments on those socials. All right, please go ahead.
Okay, now there's another question I want to ask you. Yeah. What we have been reading from the media, allegedly, is that there is an agreement between the G5 and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If it is true, I want to ask, is that agreement one that was made with Teslim Folari of the APC as a party and Adelabu Bengelemes also as a party?
You are asking a question that is based on rumor.
Okay, it is rumor.
You are asking a question that is based on conjecture of politicians.
Okay.
Up until now, the G5 governors have not declared their support for any candidate or for any political party. These questions will be best answered only when that declaration is made, not now.
Okay, then let me go to this one. Quite a sizable number of your party members are aggrieved with Seyi Makinde's administration, and you have quite a number of them joining other parties or fronting, their choice parties or however.
You are right.
Okay,
yes.
Now with all of these crises already in the state, and now this G5 Wahala, that has been brought on board, what would be the chances of your candidate in the coming election?
Which of the candidates? Atiku or Seyi Makinde?
No, Seyi Makinde particularly.
Seyi Makinde. Okay, Seyi Makinde particularly. Now, let me answer it. You see, there is an element of mathematics in politics. Even though 2 plus 2 in politics may not equal 4, but at the same time, there are certain calculations that you do that you will arrive at a definite answer. Look at it this way. I agree with you. There are people who are not happy politically with Sheyi Makinde, but you cannot say the same of the people who are not politicians. I mean, the entire people for your state. So there is difference between the political class and the citizenry of your state. Looking at it, the people of your state love Sheyi Makinde because of his modesty and achievement. And if you look at the percentage of politicians, they are less than 30%. So if the politicians are aggrieved and the entire populace love Sheyi Makinde, the calculation is Sheyi will emerge. That is one aspect. The second aspect is the fact that if there are people fighting you, if you look at their strength, if you look at their weapon, you are likely to calculate and see that they cannot defeat you. And what do I mean by this? If APC had remained one entity, that is, Adelabu did not defect to Accord, and Teslim did not hold APC, even Teslim that is holding APC, within there are still crises. We have the Lamists, we have the Ajimobi supporters who are not with Teslim because they believe Teslim came from PDP to hijack their structure, and because of that, they are not giving him support. So look at it that way. APC divided into many parts, facing a solid Sheyi Makinde, who is loved by the people of your state. I can tell you, Sheyi is going to win this election.
I don't
we
know.
have seen an example of that in Najimobi.
Because you actually said that. Sorry, Mr. Dino. You said Sheyi is going to win these elections. But let's look at how much more Sheyi has been aggrieved nationally with the preference of Atiku. Yes, the argument has been you can't have a northerner there for 8 years and still have another northerner come and spend another 8 years if the PDP eventually wins, and also have the chairman, the national chairman of the PDP coming from that extraction. But now, if you look at the elders, the PDP elders in Oyo State, like the likes of Wole Oyelese, and of course we have Femi Babalola, these are people who are also having political weight within the PDP in Oyo State. Now, if they are not with Sheyi in this move, don't you think that could spell doom too?
I've just said something about that the political class may not like Sheyi Makinde, but the people, the electorate, who form the bulk of the voters, who are the people that comes out to vote.
But Sheyi is coming through a party.
Okay,
Sheyi has been nominated.
Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you.
He has got no problem with the party.
But what happens to the elders of the party?
Yes, let me ask you a question relating to what the anchor is asking. Yes. For instance, we have heard the political presidential candidates going to seek for endorsements. Ordinarily, for instance, Obasanjo has just a vote. Is it not because of the influence they can wield within the community, that people are talking about? So if you are saying these political people are just a single number, what about the influence, that they have over the electorates in the state? Wouldn't that be...
I happen to...
Do we still have Mr. Dino Deyemi? All right, we have a caller here. Let's see if we could pull through with this. Hello, good morning.
Hello, sir.
Hello, good morning. What's the name and where are you calling us from?
Hello, sir.
Good morning.
No, I don't think he's meant for our place.
Exactly. Okay.
Diron was answering a question. Please, can you put him back on?
He's actually likely to come back, but then still talking about the PDP internal wrangling, and of course we have Mr. Dino Odeyemi with us, joining us via Skype, and of course networks could come up. All right, if you're still watching us and you have one or two things to talk about, especially on the issues we've looked at so far, we hope to have Dino back.
Hello,
all right, let's see. Okay, the numbers for you to call are 070-550-949 or 080-970-949. And of course, for you to drop in your contributions, we're hoping that he will reconnect with us in the studios this morning. But we still have Barrister Ogunlola, here with me in the studios. And let's see if we pick this. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's the name and where are you calling us from?
Kiala Sade.
All right, please go ahead. Where are you calling us from?
From Makete.
All right, please
We're
go
talking
ahead.
about the J5 now. I'm listening to you. I'm hearing that you're talking about J5 now.
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah?
We can hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Okay. Forget about the J5 or anybody that they are fighting for their own self-interest. Can you listen to me?
We are hearing you. Please go
Let's
ahead.
take Nigerian generally. Everything that we are facing now is because of all these leaders. They are the one that they put us this problem. And if somebody is saying something, they will do it. Let us leave all those ones that they don't do something before. Let's face the new people.
All right, I guess he's dropped down one, and let's see, do we have another caller here? Do we have Dino back? Okay, we have to pay some bills now. We'll be back shortly.
Safa peli sizo simnyama Iwasafa isizo saba Kavula mo Anichaleni ko Kelize Wemaye wemodo
32 FM 94.9.
Shay, you wanna feel that boost? Allow me to introduce Amber energy drink. No more shutting down, we're going up. Oh yeah, get ready. Stimulate your energy. Amber now for energy. Go around, tell somebody. Oh yeah, get ready. Stimulate your energy. Amber now for energy. Go around, tell somebody. Say, what are you waiting for? Yeah, now you can do more because Amber energy drink there for you. Amber energy drink there for you. No need to go too far. You can find it where you are because Amber energy drink there for you. Amber energy drink there for you. Yeah, yeah. Amber there for you. Yeah, yeah. Amber there for you.
Amber energy drink. Stimulate the energy in you.
The Gospel Music Request Show.
Turn it up. Baby, what? I serve a living God, oh, even the devil knows that I'm true.
Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he has done great things, as we have overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of our testimony. Join the Gospel Music Request Show as we testify and praise God in beautiful songs every Sunday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. on your laughter station, 32 FM 94.9. Don't miss it. The Gospel Music Request Show.
Ọlọ́run tèmi tọ́pẹ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù. Ìwọ nìkan ló lè ṣe o. Fàánú yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ mi.
Òwúrọ̀ àánú, òwúrọ̀ àánú, òwúrọ̀ àánú. Ìmísí Ọlọ́run nínú ayé ìránṣẹ́ rẹ̀. Prọfẹ̀t Tèmítọ́pẹ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù. Ó ní ètò tuntun tí ó máa kalẹ̀ sí 32 FM 94.9 ní déédéé aago 4:30 òwúrọ̀ lójoojúmọ́. Ó yá ẹ yí rédíò yín sí 32 FM 94.9. Kẹ̀gbà agbára ẹ̀mí mímọ́ láti ẹnu ìránṣẹ́ rẹ̀. Prọfẹ̀t Tèmítọ́pẹ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù ti ìjọ New Image International tó wà ní jẹ́jẹ́ àrọ́kọ́tọ̀ opposite Ablat Pure Water Apẹtẹ Ìbàdàn. Òwúrọ̀ àánú 32 FM 94.9. Aago 4:30 òwúrọ̀ sáago 5 ni o. Gbọ́ kó o sì gba ìyípadà sí rere lọ́dọ̀ Jésù.
Téèyàn
téèyàn bá ń gbọ́ gbégbègbè tí ò bá tètè bá wọn gbé.
ṣe ìṣíní kí wọ́n má gbé nǹkan tí kò dáa sẹ́yìn kùlé olúwa rẹ̀.
nítorí náà nílé iṣẹ́ ìròyìn BBC ṣe ń pè yín síbi ìpàdé ìta gbangba.
fún ìtàkùrọ̀sọ láàrin àwọn olùdíje sípò gómìnà nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ṣáájú ìdìbò 2023.
ọjọ́ 11 oṣù kínní ọdún 2023 ní ká ìpàdé wa nílùú Ìbàdàn.
níbi tá a ti láǹfààní láti béèrè ìbéèrè lọ́wọ́ olùdíje kọ̀ọ̀kan lórí ètò tí wọ́n ní fúnlùú.
lórí ọrọ̀ ajé, ètò ẹ̀kọ́, ààbò, ìlera, ìdàgbàsókè ìlú àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
ẹni béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ ló fẹ́ díẹ̀ gbọ́ o.
má jẹ́ kí wọ́n gbé nǹkan gbẹ̀yìn rẹ̀.
ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí bbc.com/yorùbá.
Facebook wa àti àwọn iléeṣẹ́ rédíò àti tẹlifíṣàn káàkiri ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
láti kópa níbi ìtàkùrọ̀sọ pẹ̀lú àwọn olùdíje sípò gómìnà lọ́jọ́rú ọjọ́ 11 oṣù yìí.
ìdìbò ọdún 2023.
àjùmọ̀ṣe gbogbo wa ní o.
BBC Yorùbá.
àwa gangan lára.
32 FM 94.9.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Safa
Welcome back. You're still on to the podium on 32 FM 94.9. We still have Mr. Dino Odeyemi, the former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. All right, before that network actually caught up on us, you were going somewhere, Mr. Dino.
Yes, I was talking about the elders and the leaders you said who are fighting Sheyi Makinde. What I'm saying in essence is it takes the unity of weaker enemies to defeat a champion of which Sheyi represents. All these people you are talking about, they are very weak compared to the power given to Sheyi Makinde by the people of Oyo State. So I don't see him losing this election because there is this belief in town now that perhaps all these political leaders are fighting Sheyi Makinde because it doesn't release money meant for the development of the state to them. That is their perception. That is their belief. Call it propaganda, but they believe that. And because of that, they love Sheyi Makinde with the achievements he has done in the state. So that is why I don't believe that he's not going to win this election. The people in PDP who are fighting him, they never had that opportunity, to hold on to something concrete, to nail him or blackmail him. That is one aspect. The APC that is facing him, they are not united. So where is the answer? The answer is they are all going to fail, in an attempt to cut short Sheyi Makinde's second term.
All right, any house that is divided against itself, can it stand? Yeah. Politically wise, as we look at the 2023 election itself?
You see, in politics, we deal with crises on a daily basis. Tell me which political party does not have its own teething problem internally. We continue to manage the
with
crisis.
With 5 governors out, that's the 5 governors are more or less like they've actually said they adjust the structure on their own. And of course, are we saying that the weight that the likes of Oyelese, for instance, are carrying, they actually had a meeting with 33 local government in 33 local government area. Are we saying that we can overlook the party structure in Oyo State, can overlook what Oyelese and Femi Babalola are bringing on the table and single-handedly clinched victory?
The party structure is in the hands of Sheyi Makinde.
Without these elders.
They are splinter groups. You talk of the chairman of the party, the PRO, the secretary, and everybody. Now you're talking of the structure of PDP today. It is in the hands of Sheyi Makinde. That is how the party operates.
Okay.
All the people you are talking about, they were former leaders.
Okay.
And people does not respect you when you are former. They respect the immediate leader. That is it.
Okay. You said something now, that most of these fallout members of your party was because Sheyi Makinde refused to open up the treasury to them.
I said that was the perception of the people. I am not the one saying it.
Oh, okay.
And that is what is giving Sheyi Makinde the edge, over the battle between him and the leadership of PDP in Oyo State.
But there have been allegations of, corruption against even the administration of Sheyi Makinde in the past. some of which were not adequately answered.
Established.
Exactly. So if you are saying that these people were sent away because they were looking at the lean purse of the state, then how do you justify, although they have not been proven, but there have at least been allegations of misappropriation of funds under his administration? For instance, the issue of the exercise books, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. If you go to Bodija market or go to election lawyer and tell them that she is corrupt, please run for cover. You run the risk of being lynched. That is the truth. That is the truth. All these allegations are normal political talks. If you want to kill a dog or you want a dog to be hanged, just give him a bad name. And that is exactly what but they have not they don't have that proof. And they cannot elongate those talks. They only say it and it died down the second day.
But why is it impossible? Why is it impossible for you to reconcile, these other members, knowing that they were very, very instrumental, in the emergence of the administration? Why has it been impossible for you to reconcile your differences and bring them on board and make yourself stronger?
I want to advise that you seek audience with Governor Sheyi Makinde. You'll be in the best position to answer that. Because honestly, if I were in his position,
yes,
I would have looked for lost sheep.
Good.
I would have reconciled with a lot of people.
Exactly.
I will make efforts to make sure that even if I have the majority, I still want more majority so as to win overwhelmingly, so that people will see me in another dimension. Yeah, so when you see him, you ask him that question. But if I happen to be
you can do a paper as a member of the party and advise him accordingly.
And who said I've not done that?
All right, Mr. Diro, that's actually on the line.
That's why I said seek an audience with him and talk to him.
All right, I would want to also ask you this question. There have been accusations by some PDP leaders in Oyo State saying that Makinde is being nepotistic in the appointment he has made, especially looking at some of this cabinet members itself. But what's your take on this? Do you feel the same?
If you analyze what is meant by this, perhaps I will be able to say something about it.
Coming from
this particular accusation that you are talking about, I have never had it, either from the Muslim side or from the Christian side, or even from the political class. I've never had it. Because even in politics, for the mere fact that you assisted somebody to become something politically, it is never an indication that you will get what you want. You may be aiming high. You may be thinking that perhaps he should have made me the SSG, he should have made me this, but that is his own prerogative. That is what he thinks. Well, this is the people I want to work with. And once it happens like that, what you do is, what is available. So if you are talking of nepotism or is authoritative or whatever, that accusation, no accusation has been established other than is not having a good relationship with them.
But somebody like you, meeting you,
Barrister, I guess
yes, we will go there.
time.
Meeting you on the program today. I don't want to see a former attached to your name. I think you should be very, very active in the administration too. So what is happening? I won't be in Ojani.
I'm from Osun State.
Okay.
I'm one of the people that work for Governor Adeleke.
Oh, wonderful.
Where he is now.
Wonderful.
And we have not appointed people because we want to finish all the elections before we appoint people to positions in Osun.
That's wonderful.
And when you are talking of Oyo State, I served in Oyo State as a special advisor to late Alao Akala. So I know the politics of Oyo State, even more than the politics in Osun State. But as a journalist, I fit in anywhere I find myself.
That's
all right.
Wonderful.
Just to tell our listeners that you can also still drop your comments and your contributions on Facebook, 32FM Ibadan. That's on 32FM Ibadan 949, 32FM 949 Ibadan on Facebook, and of course on YouTube. We've been streaming live, and our guest so far is the former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Diro Odeyemi. And the phone lines too will take one or two calls because our time is fast spent on the program this morning. It's been the Podium, and it's coming to you from 32 FM 94.9. The numbers are 080-550-949, or you could call 080-970-949 to make your contributions and, of course, your questions if you have any for our guest this morning. All right, and also on the panelists this morning, we've also had, or still having him in the studio, Barrister Yomi Ogunlola, also stay with us in the studios. Now, if you look at the political climate so far, it appears that it's been heated up, like I said earlier. And now the chances of the PDP, even nationally, Mr. Diron, is still being questioned by many people. And the questions are, is Atiku still in this contest? Those are some of the questions that people have been asking. And now looking at the weight of the G5 governors, now it's big for an Atiku campaign. How do we look at this, sir?
I agree with you that we are going into this election with deficit results. Because there's no way you can talk of these 5 governors and say, yes, they are not, they don't have that power in their respective states. I will not join the people who will say they are insignificant. They are. But having said that, Atiku is a veteran when it comes to election.
All right, Mr. Diron, let's take this. I'm sorry for cutting you short.
Yeah, that's
Hello,
all right.
good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, do ensure that once you're calling, you tell us your name, your location, and go straight to your position. All right, go ahead, Mr. Diron.
So, yeah, Atiku's name is everywhere in the country. Talk of any polling unit that the name Atiku does not ring a bell. No. So we are relying on his popularity. We are relying on the popularity of PDP. We are still hoping and thinking that at the end of the day, we will resolve this crisis before the election. All these things are palpitation and expectation that we think or we believe will make Atiku win this election.
Mr. Diron, have you learned any lesson at all from 2019? And now another crisis before the elections. What lessons?
There will always be crisis. You can't rule out crisis. Even in families, there will be crisis. Among friends, there will be crisis. It is the management of that crisis that makes you stronger.
Okay.
I'm telling you that it is not over until it is over.
Okay.
We will see
now,
don't worry.
Let me ask you just this one, because I know time is very much against us. Some very well-meaning Nigerians, particularly Afe Babalola, came out to say that the 2023 presidential election will be decided accordance to the deepness of the pockets of the presidential candidates. In other words, that it is going to be that money is going to be the determining, the determinant of who eventually emerges the president of Nigeria. And if that should be the case, do you think Atiku can match a Tinubu when it comes to kobo for kobo, naira for naira?
I want to believe, yes. In politics, especially in our own democracy, you need a lot of money for logistics. And in a presidential election, it will be very difficult for anybody to attempt to buy votes. It's very easy at the local level, at the governorship level, but not at the presidential level, because how much do you want to spend to buy the electorate? So when you are talking of money, you only spend money on logistics, traveling here and there, advert in the paper, in the media, transportation, welfare of the members. That is where the money would be useful, but not on the day or few days to the election. No, it is not. There's no way it will work. Nigeria is a larger entity. How much do you want to spend because you want to become the president? You can't, I don't believe in that anyway. I don't believe. You need money to win the election.
So what are we living with? What are we living with this morning, Mr. Diron Odeyemi?
You are living with the fact that, yes, I'm not shying away from the fact that we have issues in PDP. But I'm assuring you that it will be resolved within few weeks to the election.
All right.
Atiku will emerge victorious as the president of Nigeria in 2023.
Right. All right. We must
This
say a
year.
big thank you to Mr. Dino Odeyemi. He's a former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. We must say a big thank you for joining us on this conversation this morning. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. I'm always available.
All
Anytime
right.
you invite me, I'm ready to discuss with you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, Barrister. We have to
Yes,
go.
it's been wonderful having you on set. And if Kenneth is still listening to us, it was also wonderful having you on set. It's been a pleasant Saturday. Interesting times ahead.
All right. And on that note, we must say a big thank you to all our callers, our listeners, and viewers on our socials. We say a big thank you to you. Join us again next week for another interesting edition of The Podium. My name is Bolabo Famous Call. Bye for now.